he was very succinct in what he wanted to say. And I can honestly say, even in the parts that I don't agree with his stance, I can say that he was very forthcoming and very succinct in making those points. And so I do think that this isn't just PR talk. I think that this is legitimately where his head's at, but that doesn't mean that there's not some concerns with where his head's at, right? For example, the strong Billy Donovan endorsement. The fact of saying, hey, if we interview a candidate and they come in and they're not interested in keeping Billy a Hall of Fame coach, if Billy wants to stay, then it's probably not the person for us. That is going to be the part that echoes throughout most conversations based off this press conference. And like I said on the live stream, right? That isn't about whether Billy's good or not. People so much want to make the conversation on if Billy's good or not. Let's just take that out of the equation for this. It's not just about that. It's about the fact that I don't feel like you learned the right lesson in that. And that is the sense that if you hire somebody as your president, as your GM, and you hire them because the vision they have for the team, let them execute their vision. Don't already start off with one hand tied behind their back, basically saying you cannot take this job if you don't want to keep Billy. Because what if their vision, what if their play style for the team doesn't include something that's in Billy's skill set? And again, this isn't about Billy being good or not in this part of the conversation. It's really just about how much, so if you had a candidate who had a great vision, you listen to their pitch, you listen to their plans, and you feel like it's a great vision. And then they say, well, but part of that vision is I want Taylor Jenkins as a head coach, or I want a coach that runs a more up-tempo XYZ style, more defensive oriented, and I have a guy in mind for that. And the Reinsdorf was like, oh, okay, interview over. Thank you very much. Like, that's the part that's concerning for me, right? And the limitations that potentially places on somebody that could actually want to come to this job and have a good vision on what they want to do with the team. And that's the part of it that is still like the Reinsdorf's not learning the right lesson. You would think that they would have learned because they wanted AK to keep Jim Boylan when AK came on. They hired Billy Donovan. AK looked at them and said, I hear you on that, but no. Fired Jim Boylan, hired Billy Donovan, and the Reinsdorfs absolutely love Billy Donovan. So you were holding on to somebody that, again, you were familiar with, that you had a relationship with, and instead the new front office came in. Now, maybe that's part of the reason. And hold myself accountable. Maybe they looked at that and said, we didn't stick to our guns. We didn't make AK keep Jim Boylan. And so now with this next phase, no, we have identified Billy Donovan as our guy, and you have to keep Billy Donovan on for this team. And, it is what it is if that's the lesson that they learned from that. I don't think that's the right lesson taken from that, but if that's what they want to do,